Hi everyone, happy Sunday. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Weekend Wake Up. My name is Caitlin Arisizábal, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Leslie Gallagher. We are finally back from our little Thanksgiving break. Our team had time to rejuvenate, and so did we. So that was really awesome. But now we are back, and we've got a great episode in store for you. Today is December 6th. So let's talk about what happened on this day in history. First up, we've got in 1963, the Beatles began the tradition of releasing a Christmas record for fans. We got two facts for 1991. First up, Les Miserables, I'm sorry, I can never say it, Les Mis opens at Circus Theater. The second fact for 1991 is that Star Trek VI Undiscovered Country premieres. There's a lot of Star Trek fans. Don't attack me, but I've never seen it.
Neither have I. I've never seen it.
I know someone's out there is gonna be like, what? I know it's like a big deal, but yeah, that's the day that it premiered. And that's all we got for on this day in history. And now we've got Kathy with some lifestyle celebrity news today. So it should be interesting. Kathy, how are you today?
I hope everyone is doing well. So just this past week, the Spotify year wrap-up was released. There's been a debate about both the music apps, Spotify and Apple Music, and which one is more superior. I personally don't have a preference. I use both. I've been using Apple Music a little bit longer than Spotify, but I decided to give Spotify a try. I think out of the two, I just like how for Apple Music, you're actually able to see the lyrics. I'm one of those people that whenever I listen to a song, I need to see the lyrics. So which two do you prefer to use?
I've never used Apple Music. I've only ever used Spotify, so I guess I'm a little biased. I've never used the other one.
Yeah.
I really like Spotify, and I do like the Spotify wrap up of like how you see your songs and they make playlists for you. Spotify does the work for me. I don't know what Apple Music is up to, but I like how it's easy to discover new music and also be nostalgic in music that you already listen to, if that makes sense. What about you, Caitlin?
Yeah, that's true. I like that they do that. So I actually used to have Apple Music, like when Apple Music first came out, because I used to buy my songs on iTunes. You know, everything was like $129 or something.
Yeah.
And then I got Apple Music when it came out. But then senior year of high school, I remember the Spotify wrap up then. So it was like 2018, I guess, because it was December, the wrap. And I was like, that's so cool. I want that. So then that's why I got Spotify, or maybe it was junior year. I don't know, but I got it toward the end of high school because everybody had the Spotify Wrapped and I was jealous because I wanted to know what mine was, and Apple didn't have that feature yet because it was still like new. Because I saw people posting their Apple Music thing. It tells you like the hours, and I never saw it before. Like I swear that's a new feature. But yeah, Spotify Wrapped. I love it. What were you guys' top artists? That was weird.
I feel like sorry. I was gonna say I feel like no one's gonna be surprised by mine. Yeah. I'll give you a second to guess. How about that?
I mean, I already know.
Oh right, because you saw it on my story. Kathy,
Oh yeah, I feel like I've seen so many that I can't necessarily think of what you're
It's related to one of the other topics you have.
Oh, okay, hold on. It would be Harry Styles? No. Oh my god, no, Taylor Swift.
Harry, Julia,
Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of her old music.
It was really funny because my top songs were like two of them were from like older albums and one of them was like from her recent album Folklore. So I was like, wow, it was really nostalgic this year.
Wait, what were the old songs? Which ones were they?
Like one of the ones that came up was like not like for my top songs, but like ones on repeat. One of them was from like the Speak Now album. I don't remember which one. Oh wait, no. It was from the other one. Fearless album, the song Forever and Always. I always have that song on repeat.
I like that song a lot. I think I just listened to it recently as well. My two top favorite artists on both the music apps, because I do use both Apple Music and Spotify, they were both Jeremy Zucker and the band Camino. I've gotten to see Jeremy Zucker live once, and I met him after the show, and that was just like a dream come true. And then for the band Camino, I haven't gotten to see them live yet, but I have been able to listen to electric music a lot. So what about you, Caitlin?
Oh, that's cool. I feel like I only know Jeremy Zucker from that song that's like, You Were Good to Me. Is it that one? Okay, that's the only song I know. Kehlani is my number one artist. I love Kehlani, and then Janae Aiko was second, and then Kiana Lede, who is also awesome, Neo, and then Ariana Grande. But you know what? I think the top four are like R&B, and I don't understand why my top genre is pop, but that's a whole other conversation.
Same,
So.
same. So speaking, okay. So speaking about music and different artists, recently one of Taylor Swift's favorite songs, "Love Story," was used in her friend Ryan Reynolds' new commercial. This was a re-recorded version. However, she announced on Twitter recently that she has not finished all of the re-recordings of her past songs, and there's a reason behind why she is recording a lot of her old previous songs. And so the reason why is because she now wants to have complete ownership over them. There was a contract issue with her and there was a contract issue with her and Scooter Braun within the past few years. And when this feud first began in 2018, Taylor Swift took it to Tumblr to say, quote, "This is what happens when you sign a deal at 15 to someone for whom the loyalty is clearly just a contractual concept," quote. So did either of you hear about this, and how do you feel about this unfortunate, I guess to say, event that happened with Taylor?
You already know I got an opinion. Just I've been following Taylor Swift for pretty much my entire life, and to grow up with her music is awesome. And then to hear about how other people are like claiming ownership of the songs that she wrote, and that he wasn't involved in the writing. And like obviously, like I think most artists like have a team of writers, and like some songs she wrote by herself completely, like in her bedroom when she was 13 years old, and other ones, yeah, she did have a team of writers like for like Shake It Off, because that was a hit. But like they're still like her ideas and her songs and her being original, and she's like very poetic in a lot of her songs. They come from her own life experiences. I'm going on a rant, but I'm very proud of her for standing up for herself and being like, I wrote these songs, it's mine, I want it to be mine, like the song Mine.
That's funny because I thought that when you said it too. But no, like I get what you mean, because especially because she was so young, like if she 15 years old, like that was the start of Taylor's career. Like she was writing her own stuff. Like that was completely her music, her words. Like, I mean, she totally deserves to have rights to it. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with both of you. I think that again, you'd like at the age of 15 to to start your career off and start doing everything that she has done so far, and just she has accomplished so much. I think that is so amazing. Me at 15, I don't think I'd have the ability to do the things that she has done within the past years. But no, again, I do think that it's just very upsetting to hear about, because again, it is her music. She she does deserve the rights to it. And in the end, I hope that she is able to get those rights, so that so that all of us can just like enjoy her music again, and just knowing that it is truly coming from her, and with her within her ownership. So
yeah, I listened to the commercial with the re-recording in it, and it was like so nostalgic. Like she definitely brought the nostalgia, but it was also like better and like new and improved. I don't know, it was really awesome. I'm really excited for the
See, now I wanna see this commercial because I haven't seen it.
Go on Twitter, and it's like one of her latest tweets tweeting about it, and you will see that. It's a funny commercial too.
It's one of my favorite songs.
I heard that on Twitter, and I also heard on TikTok a little like snippet of it. I feel like I sadly find out so many new things on TikTok. I'm always on it.
Wait, was that the dating thing that he did where he was dressed up?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I did see that. I saw it on Ryan Reynolds' Instagram. I literally posted that on my story, and I did not process the fact that "Love Story" was in it, even though that's like one of my favorite songs. Anyway, sorry, my brain.
Anyways, what else have you got for us today, Kathy?
Other trending news. Last month, Harry Styles was on the cover of Vogue. So in this photo shoot, he wore clothing that would be described as more feminine, or woman, or as women's clothing. In this photo shoot, he wore a Gucci dress, which this photo literally broke the internet. And he actually did become the first man to appear by himself on Vogue, and Vogue has been around since 1827. So I think that's crazy to know that now that we are now in the year 2020, it took over It took over 100 years, for a man to be by himself on the cover of Vogue. So because of this, he has been receiving a lot of backlash because of it lately, and he has actually spoken out about this criticism that he has been receiving. Harry Styles stated in an interview with Variety, quote, "To not wear something because it's females clothing, you shut out a whole world of great clothes." And I think that's what's exciting about right now is you can wear what you like. It doesn't have to be X or Y. Those lines are becoming more and more blurred, unquote. I think that it's awesome how Harry is kind of, helping, change within these gender norms and things of that sort. And again, he's not and again, he's not the first male to ever do this. There are so many people that have come before him to do so, but again, I think it's awesome because again, there's so many things that are changing, and I think that it's awesome that that he's doing so. How do you two feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I love Harry Styles. He really is an icon. But especially things like that, just kind of breaking gender stereotypes or normalizations of certain gender clothing. Because I know Harry Styles, Bad Bunny, like those are the first two that pop into my head. And like you said, they're not the first ones to do it. But I feel like we're seeing more of that now. And I mean, people still have their opinions and they're really critical of it. But at the end of the day, wear what you want. Like, I'm just glad that there's more of that energy being put out there, especially he's on the cover of Vogue dressed in not like typical male clothing, I guess you could say. But that's a big deal, being on the cover of Vogue. Like, good for him. And I hope everybody's like looking up to him and seeing that, they shouldn't feel bad if they like something that maybe is not considered manly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree.
I don't know, when I saw it, like, this is gonna sound weird, but like I saw the picture on like everyone's Instagram stories, and I was like, what's up with this picture that everyone's sharing it? Like, I didn't even look into it. I didn't blink an eye, and I guess maybe I'm just like, my eyes and brain are like, I don't know, I guess I just, not like I don't care, but it's like, to me, like, I just like, whatever, gender norms, do whatever you want. So when I looked at it, I was like, oh, so this photo is like breaking the internet. Everyone's like freaking out. I didn't even realize, because I was just like, what's special about this picture? Just a man in a dress? I didn't even think that far. Like, I don't know. But I guess that's pretty good. My brain has gotten like that. I just like,
No, that's good. I mean, a lot of people were posting the picture because he got criticism from a specific person, and then that was like his backlash to it, and I forgot what the caption was, but he was basically a comeback to it, so everybody was like posting it like, yes, Harry.
Wasn't it like, I'm manly, or like I'm manly whatever,
bring manly men back or something?
Yeah. And it's like, your clothes don't determine
yeah. And I swear, like, bring back manly men, he said, and I swear Harry Styles like never posts, so like that's a good thing he posted all the way just to come back at that person.
We stand.
He's mocking them. Love it.
Yeah. But anyways, Kathy, thank you so much for the news. I always enjoy your segment, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. I was supposed to see Harry Styles live, and I just haven't, because it got canceled because of COVID, of course, but I hope I get to see him soon.
I feel like he would be such a cool person to see live. Like, I feel like you feel his energy, like, throughout. Like,
100%.
I don't even know how to explain it.
He has such a good voice, too, because I saw him at Radio City, like, 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe 4. I don't know, a long time ago. Anyway, in other news...
From concerts being canceled in COVID to, relationships being on hold. I know, Caitlin, you found some articles about dating amid a pandemic, which should be interesting. I've been in a relationship for almost 2 years, and Caitlin, you're currently single, so this should be interesting to look at.
Yes, it's so I have 2 things, but the first thing that I found was 7 cool stay-at-home date ideas you have to try. So I don't know, have you been seeing your boyfriend?
It sounds like a lot of work.
Have you been seeing your boyfriend though, Leslie? Like, have you been able to spend time together?
Here and there. See him maybe, like, usually at least once a month. Usually like every 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. One, because of COVID, like I work in a supermarket. He works sometimes in like contracting, but he only ever sees one other person because it's just him and this other guy. He's not really exposed to people a lot. His classes are virtual, mine are virtual. But still, it's better to stay safe. And we're also just really busy, so it's kind of hard to get together in person. We haven't really tried like virtual dates either. I don't know why. Just haven't really
Aw.
do that. So I don't know.
See,
Yeah,
I vote for virtual dates. I think virtual dates are cute. But
yeah.
okay, so pretty much I feel like this article kind of relates more to people who live with their significant other, which I'm sure a lot of people our age do not. But I'm just going to say some of the ideas because I feel like they can be done virtually too. Like this one says reimagine. This is from her campus, by the way. I love reading their articles. Um this one says reimagine the at-home movie night. So they kind of made like this whole couch setting and it looks like a little fort. So, but even if you're not together, I mean virtual movie nights, come on. Awesome. I love that. And then this one says game night all night, which is cute. The
Oh, that
picture
sounds
here has them playing games and they have wine. So,
ooh.
oh,
What
this
else?
is interesting. This one says put together your own taste test date. So, like,
We eat a bunch of food together. That's a great excuse for a date.
yeah, it says you've heard of wine tasting, cake testing, and even food tasting, but what about coffee tasting? If you're a
Oh,
coffee lover and don't want to go to a coffee shop right now, you know, be creative.
make your own coffee? Is that what they're saying?
So much of this is related to beverages. The next one is do a paint and sip. That's adorable.
That does sound fun. I paint occasionally, so that's like a normal Tuesday for me.
And then there is
Without the sipping, though.
yeah, of course.
Gotta just, like,
This says get in the kitchen and make or recreate a meal. I mean, or bake. I'd rather bake than like cook, to be honest.
I mean,
But
like
you know.
every day. I mean, I guess cooking with a significant other or a friend can be like really fun. But like, if you all like, if this article is targeted at people who already live together, aren't they already making food every night? Like, I don't know. Weird
True,
suggestion.
that's not something special, but maybe only one usually cooks, and this is like making sure they do it together. So that depends on you.
I don't know. Maybe that's the inner anti-patriarchy in me. That's like, one person can't do everything. They have to both do it, or at least,
No, exactly. Like I'm
you know,
not
at
giving you
least
all
have
your
it
meals.
equal.
And then the last two are to build or DIY something together and then film a TikTok together. So,
Oh boy,
would
that
you make
sounds
a
fun.
TikTok with your boyfriend?
Um, I would. Him probably wouldn't, but we would never post it though, because I don't know, I don't like
No, that's
posting.
okay. It's just for you.
But I want to convince him to do that like silly new dance with me, the Christmas one. Wow,
Mhm.
that's so vague. Here comes Santa Claus, like the silly dance. I want to teach him and convince him, but I don't know if that's gonna really
That's
happen.
cute. See, I feel like that could be done virtually too, like FaceTime each other and you're
Oh my,
teaching the moves, but I don't know how you'd film it though.
he would never, not like never. He would just be like, nah.
Yeah. Um,
um, building something together, DIYing, that would actually, I think that's something we both might like. I'm really into arts and crafts. He's very good with like building stuff. Like I said, he does contracting work. If we somehow combined that, that would be really fun. Like he does the hard part and I do the part where you add paint and glitter. Like that'd be great.
oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I feel like a lot of these date ideas were more like if you see your significant other a lot. But on the other hand, I found this article from the same website, her campus, and it's called How to Bring the Butterflies Back After Doing Long Distance. So I feel like this is interesting because a lot of people our age are not really with their significant others right now. So they're just kind of, everything's virtual. And when you meet each other again, I mean, you might think it won't be awkward, but it's kind of hard to avoid because it's just been so long. Like, even in normal situations, I feel like I forgot how to interact, like, socially. When I go to the store and, like, order stuff, I'm like, oh my God, words.
That's funny. I've always been like that though with ordering food. But you think people would feel like awkward? I mean, I feel like it really depends on the relationship because there have been times when I've like haven't seen someone in a while and I feel awkward around them even though they are my significant other. But like with the relationship I'm currently in, I don't feel awkward. It's kind of like no time has passed, if that makes sense. And it's like if you're talking every day or most days, checking in with each other, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
Butterfly.
way it should be, I feel like.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I can get if people are like uncomfy because it's like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm struggling to understand why, unless
I
like the
mean,
relationship is not good itself and you feel uncomfortable. Like maybe the relationship got worse because you didn't see them as much, and that's a total real thing that might happen to people. But maybe some people are like, oh, distance makes the heart grow fonder, or you're like me and I don't know, like no significant changes. It's like I don't know, whatever.
yeah,
Maybe that
that's
sounds bad,
true.
but like I don't know.
No, it's not bad. I mean, this specifically says so. It's a quote from relationship expert Patrick Waynes. He warned that you might feel disappointed after setting high expectations of your partner.
Mm,
Quote, we tend to create fantasies of the person in our head, of who they are, and the way that we see and perceive them. You might suddenly see a shift in the way you feel, and it might be pulling you closer together or pulling you apart, end quote. So I guess that really is more
wow.
on your own mental state. Like if you
Yeah.
have, I mean, I see this all over TikTok because my TikTok is so like what not to do in a relationship, and then it's also like just
Dang.
like single TikTok, but then it's also like cute couple TikTok. Anyway, that's not important. But
Wow. What comes up on my feed is like dogs and cats.
see, I need more of that because mine is like not like that. It's not like, well, the only cutesy aspect is I have a lot of self motivation, and then I have like cute couples like doing stuff together. But then the other part's like sad, but it's okay. I enjoy it. I feel like a lot of things I see on TikTok, I like there a lot of the times when relationships don't work out, it's because you have this like idealization in your head. So if you
Mhm.
put that all onto a person, you can't expect them to be what you created in your head, which
Yeah.
makes sense. So I feel like if people are starting to do that, especially in quarantine, you've been apart for so long. I mean, communicating through the phone is not the same thing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I could see why it's awkward if you do that and then you meet in person. But maybe that's like if you start dating in quarantine, because then you never
Mm.
met that person.
Oh, that's true.
That's different.
And that's all you know, too. So that kind of makes sense. But here's the thing is like, I don't know, like, now I'm going to propose a question. So, like, let's say you did start dating someone in quarantine. You've only seen them like 2D, like how you see me right now. Like,
2D.
that's how I consider it. Like, we're not really 3D. We're just like 2D in front of a screen, like. So, like, if you never met them, you only saw them like this. And then, like, what if they were like really different and like their mannerisms and stuff in real life? Like, do you think that would have a factor in like how you like them, or do you think it doesn't matter?
Well, what kind of mannerisms though? Like just the
Like,
way
and
they
maybe
talk, or
like
just
they weren't what you expected. Like, maybe they are different in front of like when you're in a group of people versus in your virtual dates, or maybe they just like I don't know, like not what you expected, like in their 3D form. Does that even make sense?
it does. It does make sense because I feel like that's the one of the fear aspects of online dating because you don't really know who they are aside from, I mean, they're talking to you, but meeting somebody in person is so different. But even when I met you for the first time in person,
Yeah.
it was like weird. It was just like,
Right?
whoa. I was like,
Yeah.
you're a real person.
They're like, wow, Leslie, you have like legs and you walk and you talk to other people because you've only seen me 2D at first. And then when we did meet in person, it was like, whoa, you are a real person. Like, this isn't
Yeah.
a simulation.
It was like that for a second, and then it was like, okay, this is normal. So I guess it's like a quick little adjustment period. So even if I feel like not liking their mannerisms wouldn't be a reason for me to like cut them off, but I would just be like, okay,
It'd be odd
interesting.
to adjust to.
Yeah,
Mm.
but
I don't know why that question popped into my head, but like, I don't know. Quarantine
but yeah, it's a
dating.
good question. That was my little ramble.
As a person who is single and quarantined, do you have like a desire to like date people in quarantine, or are you just like, nah, I'm just gonna focus on other things?
Um, it's I feel like it goes back and forth. It's like a lot of the times I'm just like, oh, that would be way too much work right now. But then also at the same time, I'm just like, man, that would be nice. So I don't really. It depends. I mean, I'm chilling, but it would also be nice. But I'm chilling. So
It'd be nice, but I'm chilling. So you're kind of not like indifferent, but like adaptable, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't just be in a relationship just to be in a relationship. If it happens, it happens.
That would
I
be
mean,
a little sad. I
yeah,
mean, just because I don't know, you should be in a relationship because it makes you happy. You got to do
yeah,
what makes you happy.
for sure. And I mean,
Shit.
Yeah. I don't even know what else to say. It's just kind of like when you're in a relationship, you can't even be like relying on that person all the time. Like you have to remember who you are within that too. And I feel like that's super
Yeah.
important.
You have to balance being like
Independent.
with someone but being by yourself. I actually saw this really interesting TikTok too. We keep bringing up TikTok, but this was just interesting. And they were like, there are 3 parts of your relationship: you, the other person, and you, both of you together, like a we and an us. And it's like, if you're feeling like really overwhelmed, you can be like, oh, and wait, no, I'm explaining this all wrong. They were like, in your relationship there's 3 islands, and those are the islands. And they're like, if you're feeling like too overwhelmed and you need some space, be like, oh, I'm gonna go from our us island to my me island. And it basically just means you need time alone. And I don't know why, I thought that was so interesting.
Yeah, I think it's important to know your own boundaries or recognize when you need a moment to breathe alone for a second. Because it doesn't mean you like that person any less or you don't want to be with them. It's just sometimes life's a bit much. You just need to take a step back. And it's not forever. It's just like, quick second.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, anyway, enough about me rambling with relationships. We're not trying to get too sad. But Anyway, it's not sad. It was a fun conversation. It's not sad. But,
Yeah.
We have Kenny here to talk about entertainment. So, in much happier news, I guess.
Dude,
Dude, what?
wow.
What are we wowing? Are you good?
That hit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's actually get to my entertainment news. I think the biggest news of the week. Elliot Page now uses he, they pronouns, known for the movie Juno and Umbrella Academy in the past. Elliot Page, great role model for trans people, just came out this week, actually. And this makes me think a lot about inclusivity and diversity in Hollywood. We've seen a rise in transgender people. Laverne Cox, Caitlyn Jenner, Alexis Arquette, who most people actually don't know. She was in a great movie called The Wedding Singer. That's not the point, though. And I think it was the first episode or second episode of the show, but we talked about Oscars and the inclusivity of that and how they have a lot of issues representing. And it's interesting to see Elliot Page, Oscar-nominated actor. It's, even though he hadn't transitioned or even been out about it yet, it's reflective that people in the LGBTQ plus community, they're getting to the point where it's more mainstream, and that's something definitely that we need. What do you two think about this?
I'm very happy for him that he feels comfortable enough to like figure himself out and be in his own skin. It's pretty awesome. At the same token, I know that when trans people do come out, it puts them at a greater risk for, like hate and like actual like hate crimes and violence and stuff. So I don't know, that part I guess is always worrisome. And then there's, the people on the internet that are obviously going to attack him. Sure, many people have, because I don't know, people are just full of hate and transphobia for like no reason at all. But one thing, it's funny that you do mention like Oscars and like awards, is that I know that they have awards like Best Actor and Best Actress. And like, what do you guys think about that? Like, I feel like we should eliminate that, if that makes sense, and maybe have 2 awards for like just straight up Best Actor, but like not make it like a gender or anything like that. Just like exclude that from it. What do you guys think?
Wow, I actually hadn't thought about that. I mean, I've heard people say it, but I feel like it's interesting because I always watch award shows. So if you combine the categories, like there would be so many nominees. And I mean, I'm not saying it should be like male, female, but at least you get 2 people who have the opportunity to get the award. Like it'd be much harder to win. I don't know how I don't know. It's just crazy because especially for the Oscars, like the nominee categories are usually pretty big.
Right.
So that would be like doubled, and then the chances of winning. But it should be gender inclusive. I'm just trying to think of a way they could do it.
Yeah, without like making sure that it's actually even, because then what if it's like 2 best actors and like year after year it's like always 2 men nominated, then you're excluding like women.
Yeah, like
And,
adding
that
the
whole
best
tradition gets
actress.
film.
Exactly.
Like-
Having best actress category adds like the women aspect, but then like there's other communities too that aren't being recognized, which is like
I feel like there needs to be changes, and there's so many changes in the world. That's why we need changes. I hope other people who are on the higher ups are like thinking about this kind of stuff, and it's not just like us, but
no,
yeah,
definitely. Like that should be on
I
their
know
radar.
that.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think so too, because to be inclusive as the world is changing, I know some people are like having issues with that. The world changes. That's what
Yeah.
happens. Change is inevitable, and you just gotta adapt.
That's true.
And
And especially you go.
Sorry, you can go.
No, I was just gonna say, especially with Elliot Page, like I feel like it's rare to see people who kind of have big roles that are in a part of the LGBTQ plus community. So like Umbrella Academy was like a huge show when it came out, and it's still really popular. So it's awesome to see that more, people
Mhm.
actually know about the actors and actresses out there.
It is good for kids to see like celebrities coming out, I feel like, because it makes them feel a bit safer, like, oh, if Elliot Page can do that, if he can change his name, then maybe I can do that too. And like, I don't know, I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's interesting you bring up a potential, like the issue with categories in the Oscars, because it made me think of, I don't know if either of you have seen this show. I mean, it's a show, so it's not Oscars. We get the point. Atypical on Netflix.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah, the
don't
sister.
get me started.
The sister on the show is in real life Bridget Lundy Payne. She's non-binary, or they're non-binary. Sorry.
I love their character. I did not
Yeah,
know
character's
that they were
great.
non-binary, but cool. Now I know that, so I can actually refer to them correctly.
Yeah.
Wow, I love their character though.
Yeah, their character's great, but like situations like that, what are they gonna do? Like, let's say they get to a huge acting position. I know they were just in the Bill and Ted movie. What are they gonna do if a career keeps on rising and they can't be nominated? I mean, they
Yeah,
can
there's
be,
no-
but
Yeah, because
What
People
category?
might- yeah, people might want to nominate them for best actress, but like
that's
she
not
doesn't identify as a
right.
woman. You can't I do have her be best actor or best actress, so that excludes them from that. Wow.
I mean, maybe
So, like,
I guess it would just turn into like best lead role, but like
maybe.
then or actor in a leading role, but people refer to actors like I'm really trying to think of a title of a category.
I heard one actress say once that I don't remember who, but she was like, so she got a hate comment actor in her bio, and someone was like, you are a woman, you are referred to as an actress, and she's like, actually I'm just an actor, and I don't feel the need to gender that because anyone can be an actor, so
An
it's
actor,
just
yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
So
And like
it
there's
would just
no
be like
genderity.
yeah, it would just be like best actor in a leading role. So I mean,
Mhm.
there would be less nominees in the category. Like, I feel like that's what it would turn into, but at least it would be gender inclusive.
I mean, maybe they can make the title gender inclusive, but give out 3 awards, and like one of them can be a man, one of them can be a woman, and one of them can be like non-binary or just like someone who uses like they them pronouns or something. And like, I don't know, some people might see that as complicated, but that might just be the best thing to include everybody. I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of new things, new things. I'm talking like new things, like potential new categories. That's the best I've got. I'm sorry. As everybody knows, Alex Trebek has recently passed away at 80 years old. He has hosted 37 seasons, of Jeopardy. However, coming back on January 11th, Jeopardy will be back. There are going to be special guest hosts while they try to find a permanent replacement. And the first one is going to be Ken Jennings, and he holds the record for the most games won in a row. In the week leading up to Ken Jennings, there's going to be one full week of Alex Trebek's final aired episodes, and I think it's wonderful because he also said before his death that he wants the show to go on. What do you two think about this, just real quickly?
Oh, my
That's
heart.
so sweet. I feel like,
I know.
I don't even know what else to say. It's just so sweet, and I mean, I'm curious about who the new host is gonna be, but it's been on for so many years. Like, it's wild to think about it with a different host, honestly.
Yeah, just nice, simple, but very sweet. And now, my favorite time of the week, my movie review.
yay.
So, I have said it many times before, I will say it many times again. I'm a huge music guy. And this week, I watched a music documentary, a rockumentary, if you will, about Frank Zappa, who not many people know. People should know him. But Frank Zappa is known as one of the most influential musicians of all time. This documentary was released November 23rd. It was directed and written by Alex Winter, who I mentioned this before. Bill and Ted. He played Bill. So it's about Frank Zappa. Zappa lived from 1940 to 1993. Released 62 studio albums in his lifetime and 53 more posthumously. Incredibly illustrious career. The movie was made from over 1,000 hours of unseen archive material. And throughout the movie, you just see that Frank Zappa is this extremely intelligent man. And it's a recurring theme throughout the movies. He couldn't be classified as an artist. He was in so many different areas. His music was fusion of many different things. There was a quote from the movie. Someone says, "Is that rock and roll?" No. Is that jazz? No, you can't really call it jazz. She just goes, "It's Zappa." He's just completely different than everybody. And
he's genre? What?
on genre,
That's so cool.
he's very different. And
That's sick.
yeah, and this part of this difference comes from being a workaholic, where he's constantly on the clock. He died of cancer, sadly, and he was in the interview, the final part of the movie. He mentions that he still works, on a good day, 9 hours, and that's crazy for someone who's battling severe cancer. But think about, they don't go over how much time he works when he's like in his heyday, but he is constantly going. And it makes me think, is it really a workaholic when you're doing what you love? Because that's really another theme of the movie. He doesn't even care what the audience thinks, really. He cares more about what he thinks. He's going off the sounds he hears in his head. And his goal is to just try to get as close as possible to his vision, or his just imagination of what it can be. Because there's a lot of controversy, because sometimes it was a bit of an odd piece, but he was happy with it overall, and he was very happy that he's able to do it for himself. And actually, at the end of the movie, he says something just like that. If they don't like it, it doesn't matter. As long as he's happy, he's happy. And I think that's a message that everybody should take away. And I think Frank Zappa, he also went from musician to diplomat and just humanitarian, all over the place. Someone to model after. Not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for yourself in a good way. Not doing it selfishly. You're doing it to fulfill your own needs. But when it comes to it, you are willing to help other people. I give Zappa a 7.5 out of 10. It is available for rent on Prime Video. Like I said, it just came out 2 weeks ago.
Wow. I find that interesting how you said a lot of really good things and they gave it a 7.5. Would you elaborate on that?
Yes, a little bit. Some parts were a little bit repetitive. And also, that's just the music guy coming out of me. I just love to talk about music. But it does get a little bit repetitive sometimes.
All right.
But it's still very, very good.
Now I want to watch it. You always give great reviews. Thank you so much, Kenny, for all your content today.
I don't know what that was. All right.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Well, speaking of music, we have some more music news for you guys. We have our new segment host just for music, Jake Getz, and this is his first segment today, so be kind. How are you doing, Jake?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are all of you?
We are good.
What
have you got for us today?
Okay, so I know you talked a little bit with Kathy about Spotify Wrapped, that thing. And I was curious because you talked about, what was on your Spotify Wrapped and what the kind of vertical is. But I was curious what you thought of like Spotify Wrapped like as a concept, because I see a lot of discourse about like, some people are angry. It just clogs up their Instagram feed. They don't care. But other people are really interested in what people are learning. And other people just think, you know, oh, these sheeple doing, you know, Spotify's marketing for them, you know. And I was just wondering what your thoughts are, how you feel about this.
I like definitely seeing my own to see what I listen to. Like I feel like it always surprises me, so it's kind of cool. Seeing other people's, I'm kind of like, because I usually don't know the
Yeah.
artists on other people's. I normally stick to like what I like, but I do
Mhm.
like seeing what other people listen to so I can find new music. So yeah, I don't know. I like it, but it's also, it can be a little annoying to see it on everyone's stories. But yeah,
Yeah.
overall, I really like it. It's so
Yeah.
interesting.
What? You
I
think
think
it's annoying? I love it. I love reading all of them, and I love like even if I don't know the other people's artists, it's interesting to see because I'm like, okay, I feel like I've heard of them, and even if I haven't, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look into that. But then when there are people who
Wow.
like match mine, I'm like, oh, cool, yay, we like
Oh,
same music.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I posted mine. It was like, oh, like all my top, oh, like 3 out of 5 of my top songs were like Taylor Swift. And like one of my friends was like, oh my God, the taste. Because it was like all pop music and like Taylor Swift. And I was like, yeah, some people would definitely disagree with us, but it's cool. Got a friend in me. And that's pretty much, I don't know. I
classic.
find that interesting.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, I like it. It could definitely be kind of draining, especially like when it's like, I don't know, basic stuff. Like, I don't know, like when I see like, I don't know, not to be like, you know, an elitist or anything, but like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, like really?
Like when
Like, I
people
don't
only
know.
listen to like songs that like were
Yeah,
hits
like
on
Billie
the
Eilish.
radio.
And it's like, wait, like really? That's it? But like, no, I love Billie Eilish. Don't get me wrong. But like, if that's your big thing, like, I'm sorry. No,
Wait,
all stuff
you're
Billie
judging
Eilish. Don't take
for,
that
like,
as a knock at Billie Eilish. I'm just saying, you know,
are
you
you
wanna.
judging Billie Eilish fans more than you're
I would
judging?
never, no, even her fans. But I feel like you need a bit more than that. Come on. Um,
A little more variety, a little more
all right, this is
spice.
my first show, and I'm already dropping controversial takes. Let's move on to the review. All right, so the first we have uh, a band I've been following for a while. I really love this band, Hospital Bracelet, with a new single, Happy Birthday. This dropped on Monday. Hospital Bracelet is a Chicago DIY emo trio. Uh, and they've been getting a lot of attention in the DIY scene with their poetic lyrics, these really interesting, intricate guitar riffs on their stripped down 2019 EP, Neutrally Acoustic, and gut punch of a single that was Haha JK. Wait, it was Sober Haha JK Unless that came out earlier this year. Um, Happy Birthday first appeared on Neutrally Acoustic, where it was, you know, as the name of the EP suggests, it was very acoustic, very slowed down, very kind of sullen. But this time it's plugged in, it's very quick. Well, it's not that quick, but it's pretty quick. You know, there are drums, there's bass, it's a full realized song. And you could really hear it. And I think it works a lot better this way. There was this really cool, complex, mathy riff that kind of serves as a chorus, and that it keeps on going back to, and it's
What does
really weird.
mathy mean?
Okay, mathy.
Sorry.
This is a fun emo term. Basically,
Oh.
with basically a lot of these riffs, the time signatures are so like complex. Like, you know, a lot of pop music is just like 1, 2, 3, 4, but with some it gets into like 7, 8, 13, 12. I forget what it's like, and it all just kind of sounds like you know, but like good.
You even whipped out your guitar and everything.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, no, it's just that kind of vibe where it's just like blah, blah, blah. But it's cool. I do think the song kind of loses a bit of direction towards the end. It kind of just fades out, and I wish they kind of figured that out a bit more. Other than that, great track, great band. Definitely keep an eye on them. I think they're going places.
Can I ask a question?
For sure.
Is it like the traditional happy birthday, or is it just like a random song?
No, actually, I think there's a joke about that in the title. It's like happy birthday in parentheses. No, not that one. Yeah,
Okay,
I think no.
Wait, I
emo
love the
titles are so
song
fun.
titles. So creative.
Yeah. Okay. No. By the way, this is like a really good week for music. There's so much interesting stuff going on. So moving on, we have Juice World with Real Stuff. I'm not allowed to, gotta keep it radio friendly, even though we're not airing. new posthumous single from rapper Juice WRLD, put together by producer and songwriter Benny Blanco. This was released on December 2nd, which was Juice WRLD's birthday, which would have been his 22nd, and kind of eerily, it's also approaching the first anniversary of his death on the 8th. So there's lots of kind of a heavier context, but this is not like a very dark song. It's actually quite like upbeat. It's really, it's kind of an uplifting song. And there some of the posthumous releases, we've seen some, artists who have kind of gone too soon. They have a lot of problems. It kind of feels like they're pieced together out of scraps and that there's nothing there. But I think that that's not really as much of a problem. I think they had a lot to work with, and I think the production really does it well and kind of does his performance justice. So I would highly recommend checking this one out. Did you guys get a chance to listen to this one?
No.
Okay.
I will now, though. I feel like you're going to have to put a playlist together for me.
I did. It's at the bottom of the script.
Oh my goodness.
We'll leave it in the description.
Yes, in the description, Jake's playlist.
All right, moving on. Something I'm very excited about. We had 100 Getz with a Christmas song, Sympathy for the Grinch. Now, have you heard of 100 Getz?
No?
No, I wish I could say yes.
This band, guys. This band, I gotta admit, I am not an unbiased critic right now. I am a stan, if you will, of this band, 100 Getz. They're kind of this California singer-songwriter-producer duo leading the hyperpop movement, which, is characterized by these very aggressive electronic kind of sounds. This is their Christmas album. It's not an album, it's just one song, but it's really good. It's got this killer bass line and production, very signature chipmunk vocals, and the ska influence is really on display here, with these kind of very fast, upbeat guitars, and some horns in there too. So highly recommend giving this one a listen.
Is that the cover art of it behind you?
Yes.
That's hilarious. I love that.
No, this band's amazing. Okay, moving on, we have a very poppy Christmas, a new EP from experimental pop artist Poppy, known for strange internet videos and the wonderfully bizarre album I Disagree from earlier this year. Definitely check out I Disagree. It's like this weird blend of K-pop and death metal, and it's amazing. This track, though, I was kind of expecting this EP to kind of be kind of in your face and punchy like I Disagree was, but it's very much not. It's like, it's very laid back, sullen. The first track, I Like Presents, is really simple, but it's really beautiful and it showcases her vocal talents. And there's a really nice acoustic cover of Silver Bells. And, even though these are not your conventional Christmas songs, because they're kind of more somber, I think what she was going for was trying to make Christmas songs for 2020. There's a lyric from I Like Presents that says, like, because I know this year's been hard on you, let's turn in and turn off the news. And it's like, oh, like, it kind of makes sense.
Wow. I like that reference. I don't know, I feel like that's something everyone can relate to. That's really cool.
No. And it's really beautiful songs. So I highly recommend checking these out. And then finally, we have the album review. Shawn Mendes with Wonder, 4th LP from the huge Canadian folk pop singer-songwriter. I wasn't really that into the singles that came out with this one. The intro is really cool. That was one single I did like. But I found that on the album, I didn't like it as much. Well, I did like it, the song, but something that I had a problem with was that it didn't really lead into the next song. Like, intro happens and it's nice. There's this beautiful piano and it goes into this really cool just wave of synth sounds. And then it just cuts off and then Wonder starts and it's really not graceful and just abrasive. And like, I don't know, I felt like it was like a lot of albums, especially concept albums, kind of, there's a seamless transition into the rest of the album from the intro track. And that wasn't really there. Wonder and Monster were kind of boring to me. Did you guys get a chance to listen to these?
Yeah, honestly, I was not like a huge fan of the singles when I heard them. And I remember The Night Monster came out because one of my friends played it because we were still at school. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not feeling it, to be honest. It's all right. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, come on. But what you said about the intro, I haven't listened to the whole album, but that's interesting because I feel like that's the point of an intro track,
Yeah,
like to
right?
flow. So like,
Yeah, to bring you into it. But like, I don't
yeah.
know. It's a very small complaint, but I do think it shows a lot. Um, and honestly, I thought a lot of this album was just really funny. Like, not to be too mean, but like I don't know. I found myself laughing at it kind of. I don't want to be mean, but
No,
it was really
your
funny.
opinion.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of a review, isn't it?
There's a song called Higher, and it's appropriately titled because he keeps on doing these very falsetto vocal embellishments with, you know, that kind of Prince Charming, and it sounds so goofy. And oh my god, there is a song called Teach Me How to Love, and it's like, I won't get into it because, you know, radio friendly, but the lyrics are so heavy-handed, and the bass line, oh my god, the bass line, it's so goofy. It's the silliest thing I've ever heard. Okay, I'm being mean, but
No,
and there's
it's funny.
also
Now
No,
I have
wait.
into it.
What makes a bass line funny? Like, why is
I
it
can't
goofy?
say.
I feel like you have to listen to it.
You'll have to listen
Okay.
to it, and I think you'll understand immediately what I'm talking
Okay.
about. There's also a song called Dream that I actually liked as it started, but then it went into this part where there's like this silly barbershop quartet. Kind of like have you ever heard that where it's like hello, 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 hello? Like it literally sounds like that. Um, so yeah, there was some stuff I liked. 305 is a really good tune. There's another one, Always Been You, really pretty ballad. And there's also one called Can't Imagine, which is a really nice closer to the album. All right, that is it for me. That's all the music that came out this week. So
Again, link in the description for Jake's playlist. Be sure to check it out. I know I will. And thank you, Jake, for all of your awesome recommendations today. I've got a lot to listen to.
for sure.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness.
And next up, we've got Issa with some awesome wellness tips for finals. Issa, what do you have for us today?
I hope you guys are doing well so far with finals, because I understand it's a very stressful time. So many classes at once are just like compiling all this either difficult projects or just like these long tests. So I just hope you guys are doing okay so far in general.
Yes, I'm doing my best. It's kind of cool that Montclair doesn't have a finals week. We just have finals for 3 weeks sporadically out for like some reason, but with online learning, I feel like it's just crazy. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, it is. I understand. How about you, Caitlin?
You know, I like Leslie said, I'm very glad Montclair doesn't have like a finals week because I feel like that would just be the end of me. Like I just would not be able to handle that. And you know, some professors, they'll give you papers or something else instead of an actual exam. So I'm grateful for those. I don't have a lot of those. I have a lot of like real exams this semester, but normally I don't. So it's a little different, but it's okay. I think I'm managing, kind of, not really.
It's funny you
Well,
mentioned.
it's always
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
It's funny you mentioned that, Caitlin, because you know how some will give a paper or a project instead of an exam. One of my teachers gave us like all three. Like we had our final, and then next week we have a paper and a presentation due on the same day. And then I had another teacher that gave us an essay and a final, like all due at the same time. And I'm just like, you gotta pick one.
Exactly. I have a 10-page paper and a final due on the same day for the same class. And I'm just like, okay. Yeah.
I remember I had a quiz and a 14-page paper due in a way on the same day. It wasn't that bad, but it was pretty hectic because here I'm focusing on something completely different from that same class, and then I have a quiz which was pretty big on a completely different relevant topic, still in that class, but still like how can I mediate and focus on two things at once?
Crazy.
Well, anyway, what I want to talk about today is how we can actually utilize simple but very good, very powerful and healthy habits when it comes to finals, so you don't have to stress so much and you don't have to deal with all this extra like nerves, anxiety that oftentimes we don't even have to experience. One thing I do want to ask out of curiosity, because I know that everyone has either go-to little rituals or like little systems they set up, because we're creatures of habit, so we love to develop these little habits around stressful situations, or we have these tendencies that we go to. And I was wondering, when it comes to finals, when it comes to like the ending of the semester, do you guys have like any little go-to things or little go-to routines you guys notice yourself doing?
I kind of do. When I need to like study or just focus, because I have a hard time focusing sometimes, I'll put like on a candle and like really relaxing music and kind of just, I don't know, get ready to study, and like the music and just like a nice relaxing atmosphere really helps. I guess that's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, that's so cute. That's like an actual like ritual though. I feel like I don't really do anything. Like I write everything down because I need to have things written down and organized to know what I have to do. And then I kind of just figure it out as I go. And then I'm really big on self-care and like taking breaks. So like I know what I have to do, and then I'll be like, yeah, I could squeeze in some time to watch an episode on Netflix of something. So it's just for me like balancing everything so I don't feel like everything's piling up on me. So it's not really a ritual. I don't know.
No, but balance is important. You know, taking
Yeah.
good breaks, making sure you're getting enough work done. Like I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. So, you know, it's good.
Especially for college students, I feel it's very important for people to balance self-discipline and committing yourself to a class, to certain topics, to specific things like projects, and to meetings. But it's also important to have, so yeah, it's important to have this self-discipline, but it's also important to have this self-care. So it's a balancing act between the two. And the best part is that it's very intuitive. So I like what both of you guys are doing. Like Leslie, I like how you are creating an atmosphere for yourself, which is great, because we as creatures, we aren't meant to like sit and like stare at a screen for so long, and we are meant to have some sort of sensory stimulus. So if this might sound strange, but even in pleasing your senses, whether it's like nice smells and aromas, putting on a cool background ambience or some nice music, even like glowing like soft lights, like or Christmas lights, something that just when you look at it, it can make you smile. It eases that tension and it really helps. Also, I really like, Kaylin, what you said also with keeping everything organized. Yes, this is the concept of self-discipline. It's funny because you spoke something more about self-care, and Caitlin, you spoke something more on self-discipline, to stay organized, to write everything down. And that really helps, because that eases a lot of that tension that we have when it comes to finals. Like, oh my gosh, what should I study? What should I do here? What should I do there? But going on to some of my topics and some of the things that I like to do is that when it comes to projects I do, and classes and finals, when it comes to those classes, I always like to write everything down and know what to expect. But the most important thing is, once I write everything down, and sometimes you could decide, because we all have either online classes or classes that we don't have to meet at a specific time, or we have, like, let's say, a week-long segment in which we could finish an assignment or finish something, like finish a project. In those cases, what I recommend doing is picking one class at a time, one priority at a time. So then you have that focus. So then you could have that drive, and you know exactly what you're doing, instead of jumping from one to the other. Like, okay, I have time to do this, I have time to do that. It's scientifically proven that we are not able to multitask. That's why they say you can't text and drive, because even as creatures, people, we feel sometimes we can multitask, we have that capability, but it's really not possible unless you do something that is automatic. Like, you could drive and talk, but you can't necessarily look and respond to someone like on a screen, and like if you're texting and driving. And drive, it's two different things. Like, if something requires your focus and attention and your effort, you need to do it one step at a time. So always focus on one class at a time, but keep everything in the back of your mind, like what is the highest priority for you. I hope that wasn't too information.
No, that all made a lot of sense. I feel like my mind jumps a lot, but I have a whiteboard right there. behind me, and that's where at the very top I rate like 3 things I gotta get done today. And then at the
Yes.
bottom, I kind of have like lower priority, like I could do that tomorrow if I don't have time. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
and
really fun.
that's ideal for it. Like that's the best way how we could stay organized. It really eases a lot of mental tension because we are anxious because we're scared of the unknown. Because when we don't know what to expect, that's when we could make up the worst case scenarios in our mind. So next up, I feel this is also very important that a lot of people forget about, and that's getting enough quality sleep. Like, I mean, I'm guilty of this too myself, but we need to get enough cycles of sleep to be properly rested for our brain to function optimally and for us to retain the most information and the most information we can, but also have that effort and be enthusiastic about it, be able to express that in the best way. So getting enough sleep and getting quality sleep, not just like sleep and closing your eyes for like a few hours and just like not drifting off. You should like go down. You should get go down to those brain wavelengths so you could actually get that rest and rejuvenation. Other than that, the second thing I highly recommend, stay active. If you sit in front of a computer, if you are in one place for so long, your body begins to get tired and you begin to develop brain fog because there's no active circulation in your body. So getting enough quality sleep, so getting enough rest, but also staying active and going for walks. That's one great way to stay active. Even just like setting little tasks for yourself. Oh, I'm gonna make myself some tea, or I'm gonna make myself some lunch, and just like to be active. Or even like when you have a phone call with someone, try walking around a little bit just to be like a little active. And a fun thing to also do, try maybe new yoga poses. It really helps. Deep breathing and the different aspects. It can make you flexible. It could be something fun to do. So yeah.
I love how you said that. I had a cup of tea today, and it didn't require much activity, but I wasn't in front of my computer for a good few minutes because I had to make it and everything like that. So it's kind of good to step away from your computer and just like even like little things like that, like make lunch or make tea.
Yeah, it
always
definitely makes a
surprised me.
difference too, especially because we're on Zoom all the time, just sitting with about like just like you said, it like literally, if I get up to walk just around the room, I'm just like, wow, I should walk a little more. Like I've just been sitting for so long, my legs hurt, my back hurts, like
I forgot I
crazy.
have legs.
Yeah, exactly. But you always have great tips for us, Isa, so thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm
Sure,
gonna
of
try to get
course.
good sleep just for you.
Oh yeah, like please, honestly, just see the difference. Try these habits and see if they help. I mean, I see that this is what helps me, and this allowed me to get good grades on finals and go through finals in a very stress-free but very productive manner. So utilize these 3 things. Don't multitask, monotask, one step at a time, but make sure you're organized with it. Get enough quality sleep and stay active and exercise. Like these are very simple little things. It might seem very obvious, but if you actually implement it and take action, it's going to help you a lot.
You heard it here first. Week and Wake Up viewers, you got to take Isa's tips, follow them into the new week. Even if you're not a student and you aren't taking finals, you know what, we're all at a time with stress, especially with the holidays coming up. So take time for yourself. And that wraps up today's episode. And we've only got 2 more episodes left after this one for the semester. So make sure you tune in next Sunday and the Sunday after that. And we'll see you next time. I'm Leslie Gallagher, and I'm with
Caitlin Arisisala, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.